I'm Plami. And yeah, even I can't really disagree that this episode wasn't really the best Walking Dead episode ever at all. It genuinely wasn't a good episode. It's the only episode out of these 5 episodes so far that I can't really defend against the hate that much. Although I'm still gonna try in this video because I do see quite a few positives about this episode, but yeah. I don't disagree with the hate that it's getting. I guess that's one way to put it. I don't disagree with its rating on IMDb, but I do disagree with a lot of the other episodes' rating, especially Splinter and Find Me. Those are way too overhated episodes, but I've already talked about those 2 episodes in my other video, so you should check that out if you're interested. But yeah, I still think there was quite a lot of good about this episode, but before we get into that, I guess I first want to get into the things that I didn't like about this episode, because otherwise I'm going to be focusing on the positives, because it's not a new opinion to say how bad this episode was, you know? I think the first thing that bothers me about this episode is that we already got a Daryl and Carol episode. Every single other episode in this mini season has been for a different character. The first one, I guess, kind of was about Maggie, even though it featured Daryl extensively in it. The second one was about Daryl and Carol. The third one was about Gabriel and Aaron. The fourth one was about Princess and Co. And the final one is about Negan. I don't know, it feels kind of out of place to have another episode focusing on Daryl and Carol. I would have preferred an episode that maybe focused on Rosita, because she hasn't really gotten to do almost anything in the last 2 seasons, which is confusing to me because she's a cool character, she's a badass, but I feel like, and this might be controversial, she was better under Gimpo. Like, people might say that the way Gimpo was writing a lot of those characters like Daryl and Rosita at the time to be these irrationally angry people was bad writing, but at least they were doing something with Rosita. What has she done in the last 2 seasons? She fucked Siddiq, fucked Gabriel, and got a baby. That's all she did. It's honestly so sad because she could be such a cool character, but she's been severely underutilized in these last 2 seasons. And if she doesn't really get an extensive role in season 10, I would be super disappointed because she's a really cool character. I like her a lot, but I don't understand why they're not doing anything with her. So I would have really liked it if we got a focus episode for her. Like, where the fuck is she? She's basically non-existent in the plot at all. And I guess the actress might have been busy, but she genuinely hasn't done anything in the last 2 seasons. I don't understand why. But yeah, I don't want this video to turn into a Rosita rant. I just think it would have been cool to see an episode focused on her. I've seen some people argue that maybe we should have gotten an extended Negan episode, like a 1-hour episode or something like that, instead of this episode. But considering the kind of hype Here's Negan has after people have seen the episode, and how people are praising it and using it to hate on the previous 5 episodes, I honestly am glad that he didn't do that, because, and that is going to be something that I'm going to be getting into when I do the review for Here's Negan, which is going to be right after this. The love that this episode seems to be getting, and the way it's being used to hate on these 5 other episodes, makes me hate it. Because I genuinely enjoyed Here's Negan, actually, but the way people are using it to hate on these previous 5 episodes, because personally I don't really see that much of a difference in the quality between those 2 episodes, is really making me hate. So I'm glad that they're actually not doing that. And some people are trying to argue that AMC should do a Negan spin-off of him building up the Saviors instead of the Daryl and Carol spin-off, and for the same reason I hope AMC doesn't do that. And also because it's not really gonna be fun, because we all know that Negan is going to survive, so what's the point of watching that? Like, with a backstory episode like this, I can enjoy it because it's like finding more about the character and understanding them, and making the character more three-dimensional. but with like a backstory spin-off, I don't know, it's not really gonna be as fun to watch. Like it actually might be fun to watch if they include Dwight and Simon or whatever, but it's not gonna be suspenseful. I feel like it's not gonna be interesting. I don't know, but mainly I don't want that to happen just because of how much Negan fanboys who love to hate on the previous 5 episodes seem to want it, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that bothers me about this episode, because I otherwise don't hate it. Because yes, it's pretty much just Daryl and Carol doing mundane stuff in the zombie apocalypse. Carol cooking and Daryl just fixing his motorbike. And that was really, really boring. Like, they literally could have done anything else. They could have still had the focus be on Daryl and Carol, but have them go through actual challenges. Like, for example, that's an idea that I had, and I even commented it on Reddit, that they could have had Daryl look for Connie and maybe find some clue about Connie, and that will lead us into what happens with her in season 11. Or maybe meet some more Reapers, or find out that the soldiers that he was dealing with in this episode were ex-Reapers or dead Reapers or whatever. Like something, just not have him just stumble around and look for parts to fix his bike. That was stupid. That was just stupid and boring. Or in Carol's case, I'd say that was maybe a little bit more interesting, because it was about kind of developing the character more and her thinking at the moment, even though we've got an extensive things about that. But again, even with her, what I thought that they were going to do in this episode is maybe have her go back to that place where she hallucinated her dead children early in this season. Like, I think it was like episode 3, Ghosts. I think it could have been cool to bring her back and maybe confirm whether there were actual whispers back in that episode, and maybe she finds that dead whisper that was used as a cliffhanger in that episode, and just finally accept that Henry is dead and that she can't do anything about it and move on. I think that would have been satisfying, because a lot of people have complained that the show is spinning its wheel when it comes to her character and just repeating her storyline and just not really going anywhere with her character. So I feel like this could have been a good point to end it and finally settle her character down in terms of the Henry guilt or whatever, and finally get her to move on. Maybe it's more realistic that she can't move on, because in real life you probably wouldn't be able to move on, but that is annoying as a viewer. And the same can be said about Maggie and her problem with Negan, but I'm gonna get into that more in my review for Here's Negan. So yeah, they could have literally done anything with the characters. Anything. And they literally didn't do nothing. But on the other side of things, I kinda enjoy seeing them do mundane stuff in the zombie apocalypse, like just looking for stuff to fix your motorbike and killing walkers, and her just looking for food and killing walkers. And getting to the killing walkers part, what the fuck is with the hiding of the deaths? Like, I don't understand it. Why are you doing this, AMC? Is it because you can't really show it because it would require extensive makeup and extensive work, and you can't do it because of COVID? Or are you doing it because you're afraid of soccer moms getting triggered about their kids seeing people getting brutally killed? Like, why are you hiding the violence? It's the one thing that The Walking Dead shouldn't be hiding. But ever since the season 7 premiere, it's been consistently hiding it. It got a little better in season 9, and in season 10, and especially in these 6 episodes, it seems to have gone back. Like, why? Why? That's the one thing that people want. Like, you can have the characters do nothing, like in this episode. But at least fucking show us the zombie kills, for fuck's sake. And also, as much as I like the artsy shots with the grass and the blood and everything, similar to what the director for this episode did in the Aaron and Gabriel episode, I don't like it when it's the expense of the actual action and actually seeing the walkers get killed, especially when it's being done all the fucking time. Like, it was fine in that episode because it was done in a tasteful and artistic way, and it was cool. I was okay with it. And also because we got more violence later on. But even in that episode, we didn't really get to see Mace's face bashed in. And it was done in such a close-up way where, yes, it was shocking that it happened, but we should have been able to see his face smashed in afterwards. Like, yes, I'm into this show for the characters and everything, but I'm also into it for the fucking gore. And you're denying me that for some reason. Like, what, do you think I'm like 15 or something? I'm a kid and I can't see violence? Like, why? The violence used to be better like seasons ago. Why are you hiding it now? Like, even Fear the Walking Dead season 6 is so much more violent than this. Like, in literally the first episode, one character gets fucking ripped open. His guts spill out. That was so much better. But even in the case of Fear the Walking Dead and its second half, from some of the teasers that I've seen, it seems like the violence and the walker kills are shot in an annoying way where you actually don't get to see it. Like, there was one shot of Morgan stabbing a zombie with his opposite side of his stick in the head, and it's shot from the back of the zombie, so you actually don't see him hit the zombie. And that's annoying. Why are you not showing me the gore? That is honestly one of the things that frustrated me the most about this episode. Other than that, again, I kinda enjoy seeing them do mundane stuff in the zombie apocalypse. It was fun to see. Maybe not as an episode or throughout the whole episode, but it was a good element of it that I actually wish we saw more of, because having the characters be after bad guys all the fucking time gets old. I love it, and I understand that in the zombie apocalypse there's only so many different plots you can do, but like, at least show some more mundane stuff. Like, that's the fun of it as well. But the one thing that I appreciate for this episode is actually gave a little bit more screen time to Jerry and Doc. And talking about Jerry, this episode could have also focused on Jerry. Like, why couldn't you do that? Why? Why does it have to be Carol and Daryl? They're gonna get their own spin-off. We have like 25 more episodes left of this show, and we're still circle jerking Daryl and Carol, even though they're gonna be continue to appear in more episodes down the line, while all the other good characters from this show are gonna disappear after this. We're never gonna see Jerry again. We're probably never gonna see Judith again. We're never gonna see Connie. We're never gonna see Magna, Yumiko, Ezekiel, Rosita, Eugene. But no, none of those characters get focused. Just Daryl and Carol for 2, technically 3 in the case of Daryl. Like, why? We all love those characters, but like, there are dozens of other characters that could have gotten focus. Lydia could have gotten focus. As I said, Jerry could have gotten focus. Rosita could have gotten focus. Who else? Magna could have gotten focus, because she's severely lacking as a character. She, similarly to Rosita, where it actually feels like she's kind of taking her spot as the badass in the group, but even not really that much. It's been severely utilized. Like, I feel like in season 9, I mean, even in season 9, Rosita was underutilized, but I don't know. In season 9, the balancing of the characters getting actual screen time was kind of nice, but in season 10, it's been just the Carol and Daryl circle jerk, and I'm honestly tired of it. I'm still gonna watch their spin-off, and I'm fine with them as characters and them getting focused, but they're not the only characters in this show, and I honestly, the more you show them to me, the less I give a shit about them, you know? I want to see more of the other characters as well. I want to get invested into Magna, but she's barely a character. Rosita, she used to be more of a character, now she's barely a character as well. Jerry is a character that I want to learn more about, and his struggles and everything, but he somehow magically got a decent amount of focus in this episode, and was the best part of it, along with Dog. Like, literally, a fucking dog is more interesting to me than Daryl and Carol at this point, because they've gotten way too much screen time. They're way too much of the center. I want this to be more of an ensemble show. With Rick gone, you need to make this show more of an ensemble show, and I thought they started it off pretty good in season 9, but I feel like maybe they killed more of the important characters that had the benefit of a few seasons of development, and now the characters that they didn't really give that much development, or the new characters not really getting the spotlight that they deserve, so it kind of feels empty, you know. It feels like there's barely any character I actually give a shit about, even though there is actually many, but they don't really get the spotlight for some reason. But yeah, this is turning into a completely random Walking Dead rant, but again, there's not much to talk about this episode. It's pretty pointless, but it's ultimately inoffensive, and that's why it confuses me. Why are people so triggered about it? Like, cool, it's nothing episode. Like, I don't know, for me, I'm able to take boring over stupid much more. It's the same stuff as like World Beyond, the Hateful World Beyond. Okay, yeah, it's not a good show, but it's mostly inoffensive, so I don't really understand the way people get triggered about it. Like, okay, you don't enjoy it, you think it's boring, move on with your life. Does it really matter that much? And if you can't at least try to be balanced and look at positives in something you hate and negatives in something you love, I mean, I'd rather you keep your opinion to yourself, because when I like something or dislike something, I try to see the opposite side as well. Like for this episode, I understand it wasn't a great episode. It was boring and there was nothing really of substance in this episode. But on the other side of things, it was still really cool to see the mundane experiences of the characters. And some smaller characters like Dog and Jerry got some decent screen time, and every single moment that they were in the episode was super entertaining to me. But yeah, in terms of its rating, I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10. It's okay, but I could have easily taken anything else, literally anything else other than this. Except maybe a canon-breaking episode, but that hasn't really happened in The Walking Dead ever, so yeah, I don't know. It's okay. We've had so much worse. Like, I consider the worst episodes of like the later Gimpo era of season 7 and season 8 to be much worse than this. This is just like kind of boring and slightly boring and mostly inoffensive. It's like season 6. It's not the best, but its faults are ultimately inoffensive. So I don't really understand what the fuss is all about. So yeah, what did you guys think? And what did you guys think about this episode? Comment down below. I would be really happy to hear your thoughts and have some discussion about it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the description to my Twitter if you don't follow me there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories. Because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories, or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to Patreon where you can pledge support and help get the channel going, support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think it's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!